Hey y'all, my name is Stacey Hibbert and I'm a Houston realtor here in Houston, Texas. And today I will be going over the worst part about living in Houston. I don't think that anyone reps their city more than Houstonians do, and there's a good reason why. It's an amazing city. However, there are some downfalls about living here, and today I'm going to give you an overview on what to expect when moving to Houston, Texas. The weather, the heat and humidity are awful. Summers are brutal. I honestly can't stand the summers, and you probably won't see me outside very much unless I have to if I'm working. The only time you'll see me outside for a long period of time is if I'm by a pool or in a pool, and that's it. I've lived here my entire life, and I have spent quite a few summers in Houston, and I have never gotten used to it. But yeah, I'm just a heat intolerant person, and I really just can't stand the heat in general. But Houston's humidity and heat are on another level. The humidity makes it feel a lot hotter than it really is. So the summers really are pretty miserable. Lots of bugs. With the heat and humidity come a bunch of little creepy crawlers, and I'm talking the big old cockroaches. So we have a bunch of tree and American cockroaches here, which are around like over 2 inches long, and they do come inside sometimes, unfortunately. And so don't be alarmed if you find one in your home. It doesn't mean that your house is dirty. They are outdoor cockroaches, but somehow they just make their way in search of, I guess, food, water, I don't know, shelter. Maybe it's too hot outside in Houston. Sometimes they just get caught inside or slip on through whenever you open the door, and it's very common here to find one of those. And yeah, they do fly short distances. So yeah, that's really fun. It's just an outdoor cockroach, but I know they're gross and they're huge. And then, just a bunch of bugs. We have a lot of spiders, and right now we're experiencing an outbreak of webworms throughout Houston. Those are such a pest, and there's so many of them. They're everywhere right now. Construction. It seems that every single day, Houston is starting a new construction project. So there's a bunch of freeways and lanes closed and everything. And you know what? It's not a short time period. It takes years to complete. So it's really frustrating when they close your normal route if you need to go to work or anything like that. So there are a lot of road closures due to construction. I know it's better in the end, but it is frustrating while it's happening. And in turn, that does cause a lot of traffic. I mean, we don't really need construction for there to be a lot of traffic in Houston. It is a major city, so with a major city, there is going to be traffic. But the traffic in Houston is terrible, and it's miserable, and I hate it. And be careful of road rage. If someone flicks you off, just let it go. Do not engage, because you will just feed their rage, and the road rage is scary. Other than that, Houston people are amazing, unless you catch them in traffic. And yeah, it just stinks because during rush hour, it takes me forever to get over to my friend or family's house. And that also has to do with Houston being so big. And that is a blessing, because there are so many options out there for areas and neighborhoods to live in Houston. You can live anywhere. It's awesome how much opportunity for living is in Houston. However, it does kind of suck sometimes whenever your friends and your family live all the way out in the suburbs, all the way across the city, and it just takes forever to see them. And most of the time you want to meet up for dinner or whatever after work, and you're caught in rush hour. So something that usually takes around 45 minutes will take an hour 15, an hour 20 minutes at the end of the day. Houston does not have zoning, so there are no rules on land use. Houston is actually the largest city in the U.S. to lack zoning laws. Houston is governed by a code on how land can be divided. However, there are no laws on the use of land. So you might see a fancy restaurant next to a factory or a huge building next to a shack. It's kind of chaotic in Houston, but in all the chaos, that's kind of why I love Houston. But it is not pretty as other major cities in Texas. Natural disasters. Houston is known for experiencing a lot of hurricanes. Hurricane season is from June to November, so be aware of that. And with a lot of hurricanes come flooding, and a lot of areas in Houston do flood. So be prepared for that, and make sure you do the research if you're moving here before you purchase a home. We have some of the highest property taxes in the country, but that is due to our lack of state income tax. So we rely heavily on those property taxes to pay for government services in Texas. We don't really experience all four seasons in Houston. I mean, sometimes you might experience all four seasons in one day because Houston is chaotic and you never know what you're going to get weather-wise. But yeah, we don't really have a distinct winter, summer, fall, spring. I know I said all the seasons out of order, but it's just not as well defined as when you're up north. It mostly just kind of feels like summer up until the fall months, and fall isn't even that cool. And then winter has been colder lately. I love the winter in Houston. It actually is just perfect. And then spring is really good up until you get to May. Allergies. If you're allergic to pollen season is in the springtime. It starts around February or March and hits its peak in April or May. So just be aware of that if your allergies are really bad. Well, I hope that didn't scare you away. Houston really is a great city. I love living here. I've lived here my whole life, and I don't really see myself living anywhere else. Diversity, the culture, the food, the people, everything is amazing in Houston, and you can't go wrong. So now that you know that, you can come to Houston without experiencing any curveballs. Until next time, bye all.